up, everybody? Welcome to the Shared Screens Media Club Prediction Roundup episode, I guess is what this is.
Game of the show.
Game of the show as well. If you didn't know, about a month ago, a bunch of us came together and predicted things that we were going to see at the PlayStation Showcase, Summer Games Fest, the Xbox Showcase, and kind of the Summer of Games now that things are spread out because there's no E3. And today, we are here to go through the predictions, see what we got right, what we got wrong. To be honest, it was most of them. And also rank the Shared Screens Game of the Show. I am your host, Jordan Deeb. I'm joined by Alec Bobko.
Hello.
And we got some other Josh here as well.
Ah, shit.
Here we go again.
One last SGF ride, you know? Let's do it.
Man, I'm going to be honest. I'm tired. Like, that Street Fighter 6 SmackDown took a lot out of me.
I'm sure. If anybody missed it, our live stream is up where we did the first ever Shared Screen SmackDown, our Street Fighter 6 tournament featuring one Khalif Adams, as well as a bunch of other friends of the shows and our communities. We won't tell you who won. You're going to have to tune in and see for yourself. But guys...
I was definitely going to spoil it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, let's not spoil it. Let's get those views. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Are you guys ready to go through all the predictions? I have literally every official prediction, the side predictions that we got through chiming in, going on tangents, and our rapid fire. Some are very interesting. Alrighty. So, Josh, you started us off that episode.
The big one.
And your prediction was PlayStation and Konami Metal Gear Solid 1 remake by Bluepoint this holiday season, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake 2024, and an HD collection shadow dropped. Now, Josh, you were in the right ballpark, but
yes,
we did get a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake announcement called Metal Gear Solid Delta. It's not made by Bluepoint, and as far as I can tell, there is no developer stated, so I believe Konami themselves are making the game. Do I have that correct?
I believe so. It's like Konami working with some team. I think Konami's working with a couple different teams. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And we didn't get a date or a release window.
Nothing there. No.
Next year, late next year at the earliest.
Yeah. And while the HD collection was not shadow dropped, Volume 1 expected this autumn.
Yes, with that prediction, I was like, I want to make good on all three of the major rumors, and I honestly think this is the best possible outcome for this. Mm-hmm. Doing Delta as the remake, as the first game in the storyline, having that be the first jump-in point, and then autumn when there's not a whole lot of like right before the major releases, getting that HD collection out, so the games are finally on modern consoles. I love that, and I can't wait to play them.
Yeah, think of like late September, so it's like kind of after Starfield, but before Spider-Man in late October.
And of course, those games aren't going anywhere, so people can stay with the other games as long as they want. Then come the holiday season when there's that lull, they can get into Metal Gear either for the first time or just replay games that they love.
And then that's one thing that's cool about that. It's not just like Metal Gear Solid as well. Like I think I heard that Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 are also on that collection.
Also correct. Verified that earlier while listening to KFGD. And so like Metal Gear, that's like the Game Boy one or SNES one. Where
NES.
NES. Where you're like, you're sneaking behind. It's much more like a bird's eye view of the field. I've seen a few screenshots here and there.
I did enjoy the tweet they put out. Like, we are trying to do get the most games to capture the timeline. So like we may get some of the weird one-off PSP games and stuff like that. And then I do think Bluepoint will do the PS4 or the PS5 remaster of 4. Like, I think like the first time I heard of Bluepoint was they were remastering the Uncharted trilogy and getting those games off PS3. Makes sense to have them get Metal Gear Solid 4 off PS3 as well. So
Makes sense. All right.
Praying.
Alec, you then chimed in with a side prediction that Kojima would be at SGF with this remake and Death Stranding 2. Now, unfortunately, Kojima didn't even show up. I'm worried. Are him and Jeff still friends? Is there a little tiff going on? Do we got to sit down, have him talk it through, or was Kojima just busy? He was too busy.
As someone who
Nick Cage.
Yeah, as someone who follows the feeds, like him and Jeff are still buddies. He's just hanging out. I love him so much.
He's just busy. He's working hard on that Death Stranding too.
Oh yeah,
we'll see something at this year's Game Awards for sure.
Probably. Then
I can't
Alec,
wait.
your first official prediction was Ghost of Tsushima
Swung
2
and
teased
it's
for 2025 and an Infamous remake for 2024. I wrote in response to like the answer, neither of these happened, sad face, because I want an Infamous remake so goddamn bad.
Yeah. Weird that I asked a little question in our survey. One of these was not the answer Alec put down, and I was like, "Damn!" I thought you would have been like, "Man, we're really missing this here Ghost of
nah.
Tsushima too."
There's another answer that when we get to it, I'll explain.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Now, in hindsight, looking back, it's been pretty close to a month now. I, of course, was not on the PlayStation Showcase reactions. I had other things going on. It definitely wasn't the strongest, and we still have the big companies that PlayStation owns, the big studios, still need to give answers. Like, we need to know what is Sucker Punch doing next.
What's after Spider-Man?
What's after Spider-Man kind of thing. So we might get answers to these someday, but as of today, this one is incorrect.
Like, that's the biggest disappointment for me from this, I guess, collection of showcases is that PlayStation Showcase. Just because PlayStation Showcase, like they've shown they had like what 2 or 3 of them, and they showed that though that is like the A+ tier like showcase, like almost
Right.
S tier, honestly. Like they came with the bangers for those, and then this one's just like, it was just disappointing.
And
if they had called this
like,
one a state of play, would have been the best state of play ever.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And like with this one too, then there were the immediate like follow-up rumors of like, oh no, they're gonna do another showcase later this year. Oh, Bend is actually working on Days Gone 2. Oh, and they're requiring CD Projekt Red next. I'm like, bro, the cope is real right now. Like y'all need like, it was what it was. Like let's move on. I would fuck with another showcase like in late September.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got another showcase because they did 2 in 2020, and then the 2021 one they did was in September of that year. So there is precedent for them getting 2. I know last year it was a lot like, hey, PlayStation's holding their tongue a lot, and a lot of it was like, hey, maybe they just want to make sure we get Horizon out, we get God of War out, we don't say much about them. I can't really see them pushing a showcase till after Spider-Man, so I really hope that maybe they do a, hey, Spider-Man State of Play on this day, and then a PlayStation showcase for the future of PlayStation like a week later.
I'd almost say like a week, like 2 weeks after Starfield. Like you'd want it right in between Starfield and Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
And then at that showcase, do the official launch trailer for Spider-Man 2. That's the marketing. We crescendo with that, and then also do like show Wolverine like or in some sort of capacity, gameplay. Yeah, get the big boys out, right? Because once Spider-Man's out, that's all we know, right?
That September one, I think it was 2021, was where we got Spider-Man 2 announced. We got another trailer for Gran Turismo 7. We got Wolverine announced. We got another trailer for God of War Ragnarok. Like
the first trailer for God of War.
Or first trailer,
yeah.
Like that one, like that was all back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
It was a good day. I remember being in the break room at Best Buy watching it with some coworkers. Good day, man. Good fucking day.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Then it was my first prediction where I said we would get an in-depth look at The Last of Us multiplayer game with a winter 2023 release date. Yeah, no, this game's in trouble, y'all.
I know.
Yeah, Jason Schreier shedding some light on it.
Yeah.
Even Naughty Dog themselves coming out and saying, hey, this is going to not as close as you think it is.
Right. And not like also Naughty Dog employees being like, hey, yo, like we're still cooking. Like we're just taking our time. We got scaled back, but it's still coming together. Also, Bungie apparently jumping in the room and being like, yeah, well, what's going to make this last in the long run? And it's like, Bungie, Last of Us Remastered servers are still up. I can find a match in 5 minutes, dude, on a decade-old remaster. Don't start getting in the kitchen, all right? Don't get in there.
I both like it and don't like it, where I get what you're saying, but I also think this is supposed to be so much more than just a multiplayer add-on to a PS3 game. And I would rather the game be delayed and then have someone like Bungie help out and be like, this is how a game as a service is supposed to work. So that way it does not soil the brand of The Last of Us. And again, it's still The Last of Us. This game can come out in 5 years. It'll still attract a shit ton of people. So it sounds like it's in trouble, but I also would rather it be in trouble now than it launch to like mixed reviews, or it
Yeah.
launch and then a year later then being like, yeah, we're shutting down.
Yeah. Yeah, could you imagine if like both the remake on PC and this come out to like
Oh yeah.
mixed reviews? Like that would be a big hit to Naughty Dog.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Right.
also, Naughty Dog, please just like officially delay it, because I can't drop it on Fantasy Critic because it's been rumored to be pushed. It's not official yet, so please just officially push it. That'd be great.
Then Austin came in with a prediction saying Crash 5 is announced. Unfortunately, no, Crash fans are stuck with the mobile MOBA, now dubbed the MMOBA.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Was it a Crash Team Rumble? Like,
yeah. It's okay. Sonic fans got the dub this time.
Yeah, we got some cool mascot, one who's cooler and edgier than Mario. We still got something there. It's all the same. All right, then we snaked, of course, and Austin came in with his second prediction. 2D Mario announced and shown, released soon with Odyssey 2 mentioned. Now, this one, I put a question mark because Nintendo has not yet had a summer event, meaning we do not know if any of our Nintendo predictions are right or wrong. Nintendo really didn't show up at SGF, which isn't surprising, but I think we were all kind of expecting maybe something. Because back during the E3 years, there was always the Nintendo Treehouse after their big direct on the E3 floor. And so
I think they might have been on the that list of partners too.
True.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we get a Pikmin 4 direct with some extras thrown in the beginning or the end. And I know go ahead.
It's Pikmin's next month. Like, they need to be like coming out with that in like the next couple weeks if it's a Pikmin like only direct.
Yeah.
True. Nintendo is also no stranger to one of the bigger like September directs, kind of like PlayStation showcases. So, jury's still out on when we'll see them next. But yeah, it's kind of like how we need to know what comes after Spider-Man. What's Nintendo got for us in a post Tears of the Kingdom world other than Pikmin and Pokemon DLC? Is there new hardware? At this point, I'm not even saying this as like a Switch Pro rumor, but just hey, the Switch is getting old. It was already a little bit weaker when it came out, let alone it's been like 7 years we're approaching.
It is
6
because it came out. Yes.
Year 6.
Yep, year 6.
It's year 6. And if we go to March without any sort of announcement, that would be 7 years without any sort of hardware upgrade. So Nintendo's got to be cooking something. They're always cooking.
Hopefully.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Then we had my second prediction of Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4, or as Josh called it, Dragon Ball Z Concierge Tekken.
I didn't.
Yeah.
You threw all those words out, and I was like, I didn't care. I caught like 10% of that.
What made me laugh about that is, and I'll get to my full prediction answer in a second. Is I remember when I was a kid and I knew this game. I was waiting for my barber, and one of the barbers was on the phone with, I guess, somebody buying something for his son. He was like, "No, it's called the Budokai Tenkaichi," and I started laughing. He goes, "This guy knows." Same thing. Anyway, I predicted that it would be shadow dropped. Now, I also gave this one a question mark because I did say I could see this happening kind of at a Tokyo Game Show for a July shadow drop. However, as of right now, it's definitely wrong.
Yeah, like the way they showed off that game, like I know there was kind of like in-engine stuff or in-game. I don't know if it was actually gameplay, but that game's still a ways off, I think.
The thing that made me predict this is they never used the term in early development. They never turned now, and they also didn't say in-engine footage. They kind of just said it's happening, and there is nothing in the trailer to hint as to when or where. And so I could see this being one where they're like, "Hey, we're telling you about it, and it's going to sneak up on you." I also could see this being my best fighting game of 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Alec, you predicted that the Halo Battle Royale would come out in late 2023 and we'd hear about it at the Xbox showcase. My response to this one was, I don't think Xbox even said the word Halo.
I think you're right. Yeah, they didn't mention it at all.
Which I feel like was weird because like 2 days, I want to say 2 days after the event, they're like, "Hey, here's the new season, Infection."
Yeah.
Right? Like,
It's like, why not
what?
show that on your biggest stage of the year?
Yeah, yeah. Literally, like this beloved game mode is finally in the game. Way too late,
Mhm.
but still, it's making its like debut. Like that would be something like you don't have to spend more than 2 minutes on. Honestly, just
Yeah.
fucking just drop it in there for the Halo
A
fans
30
because they're
second
out there.
trailer.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it.
they had sizzle reels in between moments. You know, there was like that Starfield sizzle reel to get us ready for the Starfield Direct afterwards.
Mhm.
They could have thrown in a
Yeah.
Halo sizzle reel and been like, infection mode out now, maybe kind of in that moment right before Phil Spencer showed up at the very end.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, sticking with Xbox, Josh, your second prediction was that Doom 3 is announced. We'll get a look at the Indiana Jones game and what the Deathloop team is working on. You went off on this prediction. It was a lot of things at once. And you also kept saying the phrase, Xbox gotta bring the games. You said that multiple times. I will admit, Xbox brought the games.
Oh yeah,
But not,
They sure
those
did.
ones.
not these games. Not Doom 3, not Indiana Jones, and nothing from the Deathloop team.
Which it baffles me. Like I'm like
Mhm.
with especially with Dial of Destiny out like later this month, and it's been 2 years since that announcement. Like we have to have something, and I feel like Lucasfilm was like, hey, we have the massive Star Wars games, and hey, we have Indiana Jones at the same time. Massive fucking came out. They showed games. They brought the games.
Oh yeah.
Indiana Jones did not, and I was like,
yeah,
oh my god.
what was
And so now this is gonna. Sorry, I was just
Go
gonna say.
ahead.
Now this is gonna be like every single showcase prediction. I'm gonna just take this one. All right. So so claimed freaking fucking call shotgun on it. It literally.
Yeah. And clearly there is a good relationship between Lucasfilm and Xbox, and then we'll get to it deeper into the predictions. But massive Star Wars game wasn't shown off at Ubisoft Forward first. It was shown off first at Xbox.
Mind blowing. Absolutely
Yeah,
mind
For
blowing.
sure. And then when you were talking about the Xbox showcase and got to bring the games, me and Austin chimed in with a little side prediction that the Starfield Direct would be well received by the public. I will let you guys rate whether or not that's true, but I personally think that people have been responding well. It's been funny watching a lot of people here at Shared Screens be like, I'm eating my words on Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't on it, but I was like, this looks like a Bethesda RPG. This looks massive, and of course, like I want it to come out to be good, but I'm still like, there's no way. I'm still a little hesitant about it. This definitely cleared it up. I'm like a little less hesitant about it, but like it's like I'll believe it when I see it. When I install it day one on Game Pass and play it, it will either work or I will uninstall and come back 8 months later when it does. Like I'm still there. But from the data I have, fucking well received.
Definitely.
Damn well received.
Yeah.
Like, I know Brett and I were both kind of in that same boat of, like, we were both kind of on the fence of, like, probably we'll check it out. It got Game Pass, why not kind of a thing. But this was just like, or that Starfield Direct was just like, oh, I need to check this out. Like,
they knew
they deep
the
dived into
exact right things to say. That entire Direct, they really...
Yeah.
They showed a freaking Megazord as a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah.
They put their whole Bethesda-y into that Direct.
Yeah. I've been very vocal about just like open world fatigue, and I like this holiday season. I feel like it's gonna be Spider-Man, and then like once that fatigue like settles a little bit more, and I'm like, fuck, I need a meaty open world to get into. That's that's when Starfield just hits.
I'm ready to make it my forever game,
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know if I'm going to like zoom through the story, relatively speaking, zoom through the story and then take my time, or if I'm never even going to complete the story, I'm just going to become my own character person, and then the story is something happening very slowly in the background. But I would say that's our first right prediction.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say, y'all remember Skyrim Grandma?
Yeah.
Like the grandma who's just put shit ton of hours into Skyrim. I want there to be a Starfield grandma or Starfield grandpa, Starfield non-binary.
There was a thing where she said she will never play Starfield. That was like a news story last week. I don't know why she said never. Maybe space isn't her thing. Maybe she feels personally insulted that she's not an NPC, but we'll never know. All right. And then
And I just
Josh.
can't wait for the mods for Starfield. Like,
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
because that was always like, well, I played Skyrim first on PS3, and eventually when I got a laptop, it's like I just spent so much time modding the hell out of Skyrim. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what people do on the PC version.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. All right, Josh, your third prediction was that a new RE game will be announced at the PlayStation Showcase for the January to March window because we've gotten new REs announced at most of the PlayStation showcases. Unfortunately, nothing from Resident Evil was announced.
Which was insane because as soon like when we kept going on further and further into that showcase, and I was like, oh, this is all third party stuff. Well, one of the second to last things to close us out will be Resident Evil 9. Nothing. And then like the rumor that I went off of too, I was like, well, I like the rumor. The thing I don't fuck with is the date. It's gonna get announced later this year. Like, no, like they get announced in the summer at the summer showcase. So the fact that they're saying later this year may also corroborate the rumors that we are going to get another PlayStation showcase, a bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm maybe still holding out hope that we get it this year, but
I get it.
I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
All right, then Alec, your third prediction was that Kena Bridge of Spirits 2 will be announced with a Pixar level trailer, no year shown. Fortunately, nothing related to Kena or that studio shown at that PlayStation showcase. I haven't played Kena, but for the people that like it, and
It's
just because I
so
want to see
good.
new studios succeed, I hope for that new studio to get something, whether it's a sequel, whether it's a spiritual successor,
Mm.
hopefully sooner rather than
Like,
later.
it's, I think I said this on the prediction episode. It's just mind blowing that that was their first game ever
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how good it looked. And it's like, yeah, people kind of bagged on the gameplay, but honestly, like for a first attempt, that's honestly great. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they can fine tune it in the sequel or the next game. Like, they
Yeah.
got the look down though.
Solid foundation. Like we can definitely elevate this from
Yep.
the like low eights to the 10.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
All right. Then my third prediction was that we will get Skyrim for the PSVR 2. None of that. I don't know if that's hey, Bethesda's part of Xbox now, or I don't know if that's a hey, PSVR 2 is kind of in this weird we made it, who knows how long we're going to stick with it. If it's a
Yeah.
combination of both, or if it's something being worked on and it just hasn't been announced yet.
Well, the day as we're recording, it's come out that like Matt Booty is just like, yeah, no, VR is kind of not really there. So it's
Yeah,
like
for the Xbox side.
I'm there, but it's like it just kind of in general though, like VR is kind of not quite there. Like
Yeah.
it's not in the limelight that it used to be.
Yeah, and I remember when they announced PSVR 1, people from PlayStation being like, "Hey, this is not PlayStation 4 VR.
Yep.
This is PlayStation 1 VR." Like we are very much in the infancy of this, and so I want to see VR supported just to see how it can be improved. But there is the
Right.
higher barrier of entry when it comes to price, and so maybe it's something that like hey, it goes back to just being kind of a development thing, and maybe I guess every mall now I guess has a store where you can do VR. Um, no, am I the only one
Oh
that's
shit.
seen those?
Wasn't at the PlayStation Showcase? Wasn't Resident Evil 4 PSVR shown off?
Yes.
There was.
VR
I
2.
don't remember
And
specifically
I'll take
what
it.
it was.
And at Capcom.
Half point. I'll take. I'm just kidding. I'm fucking.
Because it wasn't announced. We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
They did have a good little I don't say sizzle reel, but they had a good little, couple trailers back to back for PSVR 2. Like
Yeah.
there's one of those games that looked
Yeah.
really good. I'm forgetting blanking on the name right now.
Yeah.
I remember the one you're talking about. Yeah.
I wonder with this like current like dip that VR is having, if it goes back to something that's really just developers are working on, and then in like like kind of next generation, maybe towards the end of it, we get the kind of comeback of like, hey, the technology to make this is much cheaper now. And it can become much more accessible, and also the technology in terms of what we can do inside VR is much more
Mhm.
expansive, and kind of get like this second wave of like, hey, we're doing it right this time.
Yeah, I feel like we need to pick a lane, especially I say we PlayStation. Do you want handheld or do you want VR? You can't do both. You showed off a fucking weak streaming VR. I like the DualSense cut in half look of it, but the fact that it is remote play sucks. And then the VR is still lacking. So it's like, can we just pick one?
Mhm.
Xbox isn't doing neither. You can pick one and dominate the market. It's like, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and the part that sucks with PSVR 2 is just that it's as much as the console.
Yeah, literally.
Like, that's a high barrier to entry. Like, like, people want that. They have to spend like what? So it's like 500 for the console and 550. You're spending over $1,000, and then probably close to 1,100 to 1,200, depending on how many games you want.
Yeah. And if it was going to be that much, it should just be a standalone headset like a MetaQuest.
Mm-hmm.
I get why PlayStation is like, hey, we make it more of an accessory. You still get the power of the PS5, and people who want VR still then have to have a PS5. But if that's the case, you got to price it like a high-end accessory. I'm personally waiting for a really good bundle to come out. That's what I did with PSVR 1. I waited till like everything from the camera to the Move controllers and a game with the headset were all like 300 and some change, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think I actually got mine refurbished from GameStop for like, and it was on sale even like for like 200, 250, something like that.
Now, the PSVR 2 having so much less components, it just being a headset and 2 controllers, not needing these Move controllers, which are like rehash of the PlayStation 3 competing.
Not
with
even a
the Wii
rehash.
era.
They were the same
Well,
controllers.
the second gens had micro USB instead of USB B.
Yeah,
or USB
the ones
Mini.
that I got were the original PS3 versions that had the not the micro USB, but like the actual like
USB Mini, I think they called it, or
yeah. Which was a pain to find something a cord to charge that.
And then needing the camera, and so I think now that it's less, I would love to see as it gets bundled or as time goes on, and you get these discounts, it being even less than 300 to 400. But only time will tell. The conversation of Skyrim for PSVR 2 then brought up this side prediction for me that Elder Scrolls 6 will not even be mentioned. I believe that's also correct. I've not scrubbed through every second of the Xbox showcase, but I believe that
right.
No point they said anything about Elder Scrolls 6.
No. I think maybe Todd Howard in like an interview afterwards said something.
Yes,
like,
it was with Ryan McCaffrey.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was more about, hey, Starfield's finally coming out. We know that Elder Scrolls 6 is on its way. Then you're probably going to have to do a Fallout. Then we assume you circle back to a Starfield 2. At that point, you're an old man. Like, and Todd Howard's like, yeah, kind of. I'm not getting any younger. Probably that's going to be my last Elder Scrolls.
Yep.
Pissing me off. Give it to new talent, please, for the love of God.
No, I think Todd Howard wants to become one of those Futurama jars, head in a jar, and then just keep making games for all of eternity.
I can't with Todd, man.
All right. Then Austin's final prediction was that Detective Pikachu 2 was revealed later this year for the Switch. Again, another inconclusive one because of Nintendo's lack of showing up. And then we got the rapid fire section. But do you guys have anything more to say about Nintendo?
I mean, nothing really to say.
Well, no. Yeah.
Alrighty. So for the rapid fire section, I said Spider-Man 2 trailers played before Across the Spider-Verse. Didn't happen in my theater.
Same here.
Alrighty. Josh, you said that the Cross the Spider-Verse post-credit scene drops the date for Spider-Man 2. Nope. We all saw the date dropped at SGF, right in front of Jeff Keighley, with some wonderful key art.
Oh, yeah.
And a great collector's edition statue.
Yes. Then, Alec, you said we have to get the date for Spider-Man 2 this Wednesday during the showcase. Like I just said, didn't happen during the showcase. Happened a bit later.
Week later.
We have all of Alec's rapid fire ones of Team Asobi's next game shown. Unfortunately, no. Detachable disc drive shown at the showcase. They did show hardware. It wasn't that. Half-Life Alyx for PSVR 2. Going back to that VR conversation.
Such a slam dunk. Just do it.
I would assume that's more on Valve than it is on PlayStation, because I'm sure PlayStation's like, give us Half-Life Alyx on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they know what a win that would be. But Valve also wants to keep their exclusives and, game recognized game.
Yeah.
Alec, you predicted that the Avatar game would be shown at SGF with the November release date. Now, this was before we knew that a Ubisoft Forward was happening. But of course, now we know that the Avatar game was shown at the Ubisoft Forward. with a December release date, so you were close. Alec, you also predicted that the Captain America and Black Panther game would be shown at SGF. No. I imagine
Nope.
if we ever get another one of those Disney game
Marvel,
showcases,
yeah.
Disney Marvel game showcases, maybe we get that there again. Alec, you then said that the trailer for the Ubisoft Star Wars game would be shown at SGF. Again, you predicted this before we knew that it was Ubisoft forward, so I gave you kind of like a kind of right, because given off the information,
Yep.
yeah, like based off the information we had at the time, you predicted we'd see it during that week. We kind of saw it the next day. It was close enough.
At Xbox, yeah.
Yeah. Party Animals Shadow dropped at Xbox Showcase was another one you gave Alec. But hey, it was given a date. At the very least, we got a date, and it's
Yeah.
September.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
Mhm.
We're gonna be doing a stream of Party Animals at some point, and it is just gonna be the most chaotic thing we've ever done.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. That's this next SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Alec, you then said that I don't know if I spelt this wrong, or Sakebound
Was it
would
the-
be shown for 2024. Skatebound.
Scalebound.
Scalebound, yeah. During the rapid fire point, I then went on my lunch break and was like trying to both eat Chinese food and write the predictions, whether right or wrong. So, my bad.
Yeah.
I don't think we saw Scalebound at all, so I marked
No.
that one. Yeah.
Nope.
All right. You
That was
then
just
said,
one. Yeah.
yeah. And then your last rapid fire one, and I quote, Starfield shows the closest weapon to a lightsaber called something dumb like a plasma sword.
Yep.
They actually didn't show any plasma lightsaber-esque weapons. A lot of their melee weapons were just regular-ass swords and axes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saving that for like the launch trailer or something.
For sure. And they teased us with more. There's more of that game that we don't know about. It's going to be great.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
All right. Then one of my rapid-fire predictions was that we get the official reveal of one of the 3 major Star Wars games with release year. It's true. We got the Star Wars Outlaws announcement at Xbox Showcase, and then a deep dive into the gameplay the next day at Ubisoft Forward, and we know it's coming out, or it's aiming for coming out in 2024.
I can't wait.
That game looks so
Same.
good. Alrighty. I then said, if something Mario related is announced, Chris Pratt and Charlie Day are going to be there with Miyamoto. Again, Nintendo hasn't done anything yet. I like to think this is the one Nintendo one that will surely be true.
We can hope.
We can
hope, yeah.
I would love if just it truly becomes like Chris Pratt becomes like the
Mario.
real life Mario, so he has to just show up to all these Nintendo events. He's like, I don't fucking care, man.
Yeah.
Austin then said Hellblade 2 deep dive, and people are very impressed with the game. True. Hellblade 2 was going on for a while, and for the people that are into that game.
I wouldn't call that a deep dive. That was just another like cinematic trailer.
Yeah. It went on for so long, and I kind of like stopped paying attention at a point.
Fair enough.
So I was like, I'm sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're talking about gameplay mechanics or something.
No, this
That's
is a
what-
trailer
yeah.
where she's just you get the ASMR, like her talking all around you, whispering all around you.
Yeah.
Did he really say that? Sorry, I was doing this part while eating. So Austin also predicted that God of War 6 would be teased and a collection would be shadow dropped.
Oh, I was watching this back earlier.
I don't remember.
I was
that.
wa-
It's Gears of War.
It's Gears of War.
I
Gears
Wrote
of
Gears of War.
GOW, and I was like, God of War. Okay,
War.
that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that makes so
Yeah.
much. I'm like,
That's why I was like, there's no fucking way he said that. Okay, Gears of War
Yeah.
6 is what would be teased and a collection shadow dropped. Either way, Gears of War, God of War didn't happen.
No. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Austin also predicted that Avowed is shown with gameplay and people are underwhelmed. Now, Avowed gameplay was shown personally from what I saw on Twitter. Again, I'll leave this up to you guys. I felt the reactions to the Avowed gameplay were pretty mixed. I saw some people saying it looked fun. I saw some people saying that they don't necessarily dislike it, but they expected it to be a little bit more of a realistic art style and less of the artistic choice that they're going with. Not that that's bad. It's just what people assumed.
I didn't really see many reactions to it, so I have to defer to you guys.
My friend who's like Fallout New Vegas is one of their favorite games of all time. Big Fallout head, big Obsidian guy. Fucking loves Elder Scrolls, all that shit. Like just loves Bethesda and all the stuff they're doing, and Obsidian. He was like, I was hoping for Outer
Yes.
Worlds, but with the fantasy setting,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what I got. And he's like, I can't wait to see more,
Yeah.
but we need to see something. And so
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
like, I think he's satisfied.
Yeah. So I'd say for the most part, that prediction is more or less correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Austin said Wolverine mentioned once, wasn't mentioned at all.
Nope.
Austin said Fable will not be shown at all and opened the showcase.
Very good. Very good trailer.
Austin
Oh
said
yeah.
we see Sony Ben's new game and it's open world. Ben also didn't show up.
Yeah.
Austin said Game Pass support for Steam Deck. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything, but I really wish we would because right now I am looking
Mhm.
at that ROG Ally, ROG
Yep.
Ally, and it's the Toy Story meme of me dropping my Steam Deck. Like I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, Fingers crossed though that we get something with native Game Pass support on Steam Deck. Uh, and now, Josh, your last three rapid fire predictions were COD 2023 gets a full scale reveal trailer at the Xbox Showcase. Did not happen.
Insane.
That,
Insane.
honestly, that is crazy. Like
We
Because
are
we're
6
this isn't the year they're skipping, right? It's next year's the first year they're skipping.
I think so. The rumors is that this is like a smaller team going into like do Modern Warfare 3, make that modernized, and the fact that we are 6 months into the year and we have not seen anything from it, and like typically, I mean, COVID has been unprecedented times for Call of Duty, where we didn't used to get betas before, now we get them. We should be seeing a beta in like October, September. We haven't even seen the game and it's June. It's like
oh yeah.
what is happening? And
Yeah.
like I definitely thought with the Activision deal, like this makes sense. Like Xbox is going to hold it. Xbox is going to do the third party marketing for it until they can do the first party marketing for it.
Hmm.
Crazy, we haven't seen it.
Yeah, because we've never gone this late in the year and literally
Yeah,
nothing. Like not even like a. I mean, I guess there's been rumors, but like not even like a screenshot of like a tease of anything.
yeah.
Like
No title treatment, no nothing.
yeah.
Okay, so Video Game Chronicles has an article from August 2nd of 2022 saying Activision is reportedly skipping the mainline Call of Duty game for the first time in 2023. That might have to do with
Mm.
Xbox, but then there's also a November 7th article from a website I've never really heard of called MP First. So maybe it's multiplayer
Mhm.
first because they have Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Destiny tags, saying that despite confirmed that Call of Duty 2023 has been confirmed despite previous reports of the franchise skipping a year. But then you go read the article and it says rumor rather than confirmed. So
Yeah,
very
and
possible we
then
don't
yeah,
get COD this year.
rumors, and then yeah, I feel like there were like more recent rounds being like, oh, it's not a it's not a full scale release, like it's more like a Uncharted Lost Legacy type thing for Modern Warfare 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then Activision being like, no, 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 it is a full scale, and then it's like, who the fuck knows at this point? Like, I just, if there is something, show it. If there isn't
Yeah.
something, say it. Like, please.
Yeah. Josh, you also predicted that Star Wars Eclipse would be shown. No.
Yes. I thought out of all the major Star Wars games that was going to be the one, and then I saw the tweet or an article today. Eclipse is not canceled. Please, we are still working on it. And I was like, damn, this game really is in it development
Yikes.
hell.
Yeah. And then the last rapid fire prediction we got in the last prediction we got overall was Josh's final rapid fire prediction. Some type of game that is announced with a less than 5 month release date. I wrote that I currently couldn't think of one at the time I was going through and listening and writing the answers. Do any come to mind for you guys?
So when I was saying 5 monther, right? To me, a 5 monther is either something that gets revealed for the first time that we don't know about,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
or has been said to be happening, but has gone shadowed, like they've gone radio
Gone
silent,
quiet.
and then
Yeah.
and then come back, and they're like, "Hey, here's the game. Here it is." Miles Morales in 2020 is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the
Mhm.
Galaxy in 2021 was the
Yeah.
example I used on the predictions episode. I'd say this year it'd be Alan Wake 2. Like the fact that we saw that game at Game Awards 2021 with a 30-second like CGI trailer. Then they went all quiet. all of last year, and now they're back. Here's a gameplay trailer. Here's gameplay
Mhm.
October, right? Like, I thought
Yeah, I mean,
that would be
yeah,
considered it.
I'll
Yeah.
give that to you. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
most anticipated game of SGF.
Yeah, like lots of just outstanding previews coming from this
Mhm.
game, so I'm excited. And
Yeah.
like, I was thinking about it like closer to these showcases. I was like, is Wonder Woman going to be that game from Monolith and
Hmm.
WB?
Oh, yeah.
Could that
I
be
could
it?
see
And
that.
then I think that might be the next year. I'll
Mhm.
put it in the back pocket next year. 5-monther
Yeah.
Wonder Woman
The
out looks great.
the thing that makes me think we might not see that game for even longer, not talking about when we see it compared to when it comes out, because I could see them being like it being a quick turnaround, but the thing that makes me think maybe we'll get a longer break before we even hear about that game again is now that like the DCEU is ending and they're turning it into the DCU, and they've said that the DCU wants to include video games. Does it
Yeah.
include that Wonder Woman game?
Fuck. There's that one actress who's the most recent Laura Croft, who's also on like Grey's Anatomy. If they
Alicia
got her as
Vikander.
I think so. But if they got her to be Wonder Woman and like in both video game and
Mhm.
live action, I'd be like, oh my god, dude,
Yeah.
good.
Alrighty. But that wraps it up for our predictions. Josh, I believe you have a survey that we took internally here at Shared Screens. I'll hand it off to you.
Absolutely. Let's do the SGF awards. Let's hand out some awards. We got the categories going. I was waiting, see if we could get one last submission from their Jim Tasty, but we haven't. So we have the data. We're gonna have to battle it out, the three of us, to do some tiebreakers here.
Mm-hmm.
But send out a survey. Here we go. A best showcase. Starting with the big one right off the rip, almost unanimous Xbox showcase. They had the best. They learned
By
from
far.
Yeah.
yeah, best by far. They learned from I feel like that 2015 era, where they were coming out on stage just talking about all the games, talk. There's
And
a
all the studios
Ferrari
they
on
bought.
yeah, there's a Ferrari on stage for fucking Forza, and it's like, oh, and now they're like, okay, let's show games, right? And now I feel
Mhm.
like they really learned from
Yeah.
it. Chance, the only one outside the group, saying SGF kickoff.
Honestly,
So
Interesting.
I'll give it my own award. The most improved.
That's
yeah,
fair. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah,
I would say the thing for me that makes me think Xbox was the best showcase isn't just it had the games that I was most intrigued about. As a
right,
showcase objectively, like if you were into every game
Yep.
shown at SGF, but not into any of the games shown at Xbox, I still think that objectively, Xbox's was better paced. It had better
Yep.
breaks. There was a right amount of here's what we're going to explain, but here's what's just going to be trailer after trailer after trailer. And I think
right,
that them kind of condensing it, and obviously, Starfield happening right after, you could kind of say was one thing, but there was a kind of a break. So if you wanted to dip, you could. SGF, being 2 hours long, had moments where it dragged. And of course, it's new. Jeff Keighley needs to pay the bills. And so we're going to get DoorDash Final Fantasy collabs
yeah,
sponsors.
Yeah.
We're going to get the most generic looking game that I feel like I would see played in like the back of a cable TV show, with
yeah,
names that also sound like they come from, a writer's room. You got to pay the bills.
Mhm.
I get it. But Xbox has their own bills and their own money making machine. And so they came heavy
yeah.
this year.
And then I think the big shout out to Jeff too is like getting those follow ups, right? Where like we saw 11 minutes uncut gameplay Spider-Man 2 at
Yeah.
PS Showcase. Then he's like, can I at least get the follow up? Can we do the
Get the release date.
release day, the
Mhm.
key art stuff like that? And then weird that they didn't show the collector's edition on stage. I feel like they like announced that on Twitter at the same
Oh,
time,
yeah.
Yeah,
but still like
that's a
still an
very
improvement.
PlayStation move though. For them
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
to put something out and then put out like very important information on Twitter afterwards.
On the blog, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I could definitely see why SGF kickoff was there. I wanted to give you guys the option to write in. Surprised Austin didn't write in Devolver Digital Showcase. I didn't catch that one. Was it
It was
good
not
this year?
great. No.
I had two
Ooh.
issues with it. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Devolver likes to do like their kind of
The
tongue-in-cheek
spoof.
script spoof of or aspect, as well as showing games in there. The beginning part was a very, very good parody of the games industry and how They
Right.
use nostalgia to make money, and you get the
Like a
guy that had
mascot.
mascot, and then you have this big crowd, and you get the guy who's wearing Jordans, and he has two first names as his names, like a Jake Paul or
Yeah.
a type of thing. But then it kept going, and it really sounded like Devolver was calling their own games bullshit that AI spits out.
Ooh.
The pivot was really weird, where they were
Mhm.
trying to make a statement about like, hey, this is an AI machine. Just say what game you want and it'll make one. But they were using that to segue into the actual trailers. And so it really felt like they're going, yeah, this is AI shit. Like, this is just
Right.
trash AI pumped out. Rather than making the joke, here is what AI can't do. Here's what happens when you have like the human touch in art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't help that they have like so many, like two of arguably Devolver's biggest games, Gunbrella and the Plucky Square, weren't even there.
Yeah.
Shown off at like PlayStation instead, right?
Yeah.
Plucky Squire,
Yep.
right? Yeah, fair enough. Damn, that's sad to hear.
I was like,
I
biggest
hope they get it back.
thing is like it was like a half hour, so it was you're in and out of there
Oh,
quick.
in and out, no problem.
But it's still
Yeah.
like how good previous Devolver Directs were. This was
Right.
This was a letdown.
Yeah. Damn. All right, moving on to. Hold on. Well, I need my summary. All right. Moving on to the next category here. I want to get best showcase out the way first. Then some lighter categories. Best trailer was up next. We had a lot of people vote for one, and then Austin and I actually split off on two other trailers. Austin said the best trailer shown at SGF was Alan Wake 2, which I don't disagree with him.
Yeah.
Goddamn, very good trailer. Got me very hyped into that game. Very like the remaster of the first one was on sale, and I thought about it. And I'm like, we could knock off a couple dollars. I'll wait for the next sale on that one. Myself, Metal Gear Solid Delta. What a mind fuck of a trailer. Everyone's like, is this grounded? What is this? It's ants,
An
now
Ant-Man
birds,
game.
now snakes. Yeah, literally. And then for it to just fucking Snake comes out at the end, the music plays. Oh my god.
What a thrill.
What a trailer. What a thrill. But of course, the 66% of the vote went to that Star Wars Outlaws trailer. Just clearing house at that Xbox conference. And honestly, I don't blame y'all. That was fantastic to see.
Yeah.
Like it literally, it told you everything you needed to know about the game. Like even told you like what time period. Like Hana's in Carbonite.
Carbonite.
I almost said Kryptonite. I'm like, had to, my brain just like froze there.
We love a crossover.
Right, but like we know exactly what time period this game's set in.
Oh yeah. Now moving on from best trailer, best gameplay showing. I was the only outlier here. I went Spider-Man 2. For this category, we had Starfield, Spider-Man 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Alan Wake 2 all as running contenders. I went Spider-Man 2 because I loved how we didn't hear anything from this game for the longest time. Everyone's fucking just clawing, just frothing from the mouth. Show us gameplay, show us, and they were like, "Here's 11 straight minutes. Showed us everything we wanted, right? We saw a different burrow right off the rip. We got the symbiote right off the rip.
The glider wings.
The glider wins. Everyone's like, how are we going to do 2 Spider-Mans? They're like, hey, press square to switch to Miles, all that stuff. Big set piece. We got Kurt Connors as the Lizard in there. We're getting more villains. Fantastic way to end the showcase. So I went Spider-Man 2. Everyone else went Starfield, and I don't blame you.
So I will say, I struggled with this one.
Oh, same.
Because I think both gameplay trailers were perfect for what these games are.
Right.
Spider-Man does not have as much to prove because we know it's Spider-Man 2. We know what Spider-Man plays like. We know that these games are always hit. We get and we don't expect there to be a complete change in gameplay, even with the addition of the symbiote. We don't expect it to be a whole new game. So like they did it right. They did it right by just, hey, we're showing, but we're not telling. We're going to show that there's new UI. We're not going to explain it. We're going to show how the symbiote powers look, but we're not going to say what they do. Whereas
Right.
Starfield, people were nervous. It's Bethesda's first new IP and Bethesda's first major RPG since Fallout 4. People kind of need more than just that formula. They need to see the evolution of that formula. And so they took their time in showing this is how Bethesda is now. Like, this is what 2023 is of what a 2023 Bethesda game is. And we're going to explain some of these mechanics because this game is so big and people are a little bit worried, and it was supposed to come out and we delayed it basically an entire year. So I think, like, for what
Right.
each of these games needed, they were both the perfect gameplay trailer.
Honestly, for me,
I agree
the
with that.
one I was tossing up between was Star Wars Outlaws and Starfield. Like that gameplay reveal at Ubisoft Forward, like that, it's everything we've always almost wanted from a Star Wars game. Like
Right.
that when that whole like wanted like filled up the screen, it's like, oh come on, we get that transition from on land into space, and you
Oh yeah.
saw like the UI pop up, so it's like we're gonna be able to control the ship and have like in space combat.
Right.
Like, oh
For me too, the big thing with seeing that one was just finally some blaster gameplay, right?
yeah,
It's a stance in fall in Survivor, but I was like, I kind of want to just blast, be
yep,
murking
blaster only
motherfuckers with a
Mm-hmm.
blaster. Yeah, yeah. And so that was I thought that like
in
looked good.
Nyx.
Yeah, and Nyx absolutely, and that droid,
Harry Mudkip.
everything's oh yeah, everything's looking great on that. Moving off of gameplay, though, we had some major wallet destroyers shown off in the form of collector's editions,
Yes, we
just
did.
absolutely just raking us. And this one actually came down to a 50-50 split. We had three
Ooh.
people vote for Spider Man 2 and three people vote for Starfield for the better collector's edition.
So I'm just gonna
Jordan,
before we start
go
arguing, I'm
for it.
just curious.
Yeah.
Did we all vote for one or the other? Because if we all voted for one, like
I
I
voted Spider
I
Man.
voted Spider-Man.
okay, I voted Starfield.
Okay, so my argument here is
Yeah.
something that I think actually came up during a media club we did almost a year ago now, maybe less. I don't know. Time's a circle. But
Mhm.
there is no incentive for me to get the Starfield Collector's Edition because I have Game Pass. If there was a Game
Right.
Pass Collector's Edition where, maybe you put in your Xbox Live information, you
Well,
get the $70 off, and it doesn't come with a copy of the game, I'd be all about it because that case looks amazing, the watch looks cool. But I have no incentive to buy it because what am I going to do with the digital copy of the game if I get the game for free? I'm going to
Right.
be buying Spider-Man
be nice and give
regardless.
it to a friend. That doesn't have Game Pass.
But who doesn't have Game Pass at this point?
Yeah.
You know what
That
I
is a
mean?
good
Like,
Fair
it's
point.
tough
point.
to
Fair
find
point.
somebody who doesn't have Game Pass, let alone because I'd be getting a PC. I guess I could get an Xbox version if I wanted to give it to someone. Because my thing with PC is like, well, I
Yeah.
also have to make sure that this person doesn't have Game Pass, has a PC specced out that can play Starfield. But for
Right.
me, it's Spider Man because the statue looks amazing, and Spider Man 2018 is the first collector's edition I've ever bought. You can see it in the background right there
Oh
on top
yeah.
of all the
Hell
Sinister
yeah.
Six. Yep, there he is. I also have an art book that keeps falling, so I just laid it down next to my 3DS box because my floor is crooked,
Mhm.
and so every time I step near the shelf, the book falls, and I got tired of that happening. But yeah, I mean, and I got the Spider-Man one. After like 2.5 hours of struggling on the website,
Nice.
I ended up getting it, and I am hyped, y'all.
Oh yeah. This is the first game I've pre-ordered in years. And this is the first collector's edition I got in a decade. I used to be a big collector's edition kid in the PS3 era, PS4 era. I feel like they stopped really doing them. And so this was the one where I was like, all right, I'm going to bat to it. And of course, PlayStation's like, hey, you guys don't get PlayStation Direct there in Canada. It's a free for all between 6 major retailers.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, I was duking it out over a couple. Then I was like, okay, Amazon went up late. Somebody tweeted out the Amazon link and they're like, hey, America, if you can't get it in, hopefully you have a friend in Canada. And I was like, don't tweet it out for the Americans. They got PS Direct. Tweet it out for me. And I just happened to be right place, right time. Added it to my wish list, checked on it, in stock, 2 buttons, click, done deal, showing up. My
Nice.
God, I can't wait. But with there being a tiebreaker, though, how do we break
So
this? I don't know if
I
we
was gonna
break it.
say one reason I voted for Starfield Like I said,
Yeah.
you already brought up the case. For me, like that watch was cool. It's a legitimate smartwatch.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it connects to your phone, can give you notifications. Like that's honestly, I almost wanted. I understand the whole Game Pass thing, and you're already getting the game, but like for me,
Right.
you're getting the collector's edition for the collectibles.
Yeah.
I might still crack and get the Starfield Collector's Edition. I will be honest.
Mm-hmm. But
Fair enough.
man, for me, I just don't have the money for either of them, even though I want to.
But you don't need to
Oh
have the money
yeah.
now. You need to have the money then. It's a problem for future
Yes.
But I
Alec.
still,
Yeah.
but I still need to save money because I got stuff to do going in September and October. So
That's fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I absolutely just fucked future Josh by pre-ordering this Spider-Man thing, and I better find a spare $400 Canadian come October.
yikes.
But you know what? With it being a tiebreaker, I might just toss it to the audience on this one. Y'all have to comment down below when you're hitting the like button if you're liking this episode. Comment down below who takes it, Spider-Man or Starfield for the best collector's edition.
Comment
Review.
or tweet at us.
Or tweet at us. Hit us up in the TikTok comments if this is a social vid, Instagram, all that. Next category, getting off of collector's editions and what we saw. I wanted to go what we didn't see and what we were missing the most. I put in Ghost of Tsushima 2, Indiana Jones, Last of Us Factions, and Doom 3. Everyone here went Last of Us Factions, although I did get one write-in answer from one Austin Ernst who said Fallout Remake. What? out of the blue, like not even one of his predictions, nothing from Austin in terms of mentioning it beforehand, and then was just wanted to come in here and just be like, yeah, I really wish we got a Fallout remake at the at the Xbox showcase.
Okay.
I mean, if we could just write in anything, I would have probably written in like Infamous remake. But I assume biggest. How was it worded again, Josh?
What we were missing the most.
Yeah, when I hear missing, I read that as like something we know is a thing, or like very much looks like it's going to be a thing. Like you said, a Doom 3.
Yeah.
Of course, it's never been confirmed, but we could assume we're going to get a Doom 3. We know Last of Us
Right.
Factions is happening, and that's what I voted for because
Same.
I think everybody was kind of ready to hear from that game, and like we mentioned earlier, I guess Sony didn't get ahead of that. They didn't know what the hype was, and we know
Right.
the game's still being worked on, and take your time. We all know the Miyamoto quote.
Yeah.
I also think the big thing with that is, they literally said a year ago on Summer Games Fest kickoff stage, you'll see it next year.
That's
It's
true.
been a year. Like,
Right.
I think that's kind of the big reason people were expecting to see it is because they said,
It's been a year. We had the remake last year. Remake came to PC, which is still getting worked on and fixed. And then we had the whole HBO show. It's like there's upward momentum for this franchise. Like, and
just give it
we're
to
not
us.
even doing. Yeah, we're not doing a director's cut of the sequel. We're not like doing multiplayer. We're not nothing. There's nothing. There's no new comic book. There's just like nothing for it. So yeah, I felt that missing the most. Although I was very, very close to putting in Ghost of Tsushima 2. Like I was like, it's been 3 years since the release of the first one. We know it's being worked on, especially with how much of a success it is. They got a movie adaptation in the works. Come on. I can't wait. I can't wait to get
and
back
I guess
into that world.
it just came out, on the Ghost of Tsushima train, that the director of the movie wants to make like a sequel, like TV series.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Do a TV series with all the side characters with Lady Masako, everyone.
That'd be a great TV series. Going through that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anthology of just the bow master, all those dudes. Oh my god, please. Then the big award here, ladies, gentlemen, and bees, my non-binaries. Game of the show. Split amongst all 4 major games here. We have 16%, so 1 vote goes to Star Wars Outlaws. Another vote went to Alan Wake 2. 2 votes went to Spider-Man 2, and another 2 votes went to Starfield. So we are mixed up. And this is why I was like, Brett, I need you to break this time, man. We are
Yeah.
we are dead set. So what did y'all vote for? Let's duke it out. What was the game of the show here?
I mean, honestly, the big one for me, I'd say, because it changed so many of our opinions here at Shared Screens, I think it has to go to Starfield. Like, Chance, he was the big one. He even said on our reaction, like he's, was kind of almost against this game. But then what they showed at that direct, like, changed his mind. Like, and it changed, Brett's and, mine, like, opinion on the game of like,
Chris's as
might
well.
check it out. Chris, yeah. Like, that Starfield direct did what it needed to do. Clearly.
Right.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2018, my favorite game ever. I think if Spider-Man 2 hits right, which I think it will probably surpass it.
Mhm.
But game of the show to me isn't what my favorite game shown was. It is kind of what's been dominating the conversation. And if you're on gaming Twitter right now, it's Starfield. There's, and Spider-Man 2 is still being talked about. Don't get me wrong, but we are not the only ones who had opinions change on Starfield. I feel like the gaming community as a whole had their expectations and opinions changed on Starfield. And because it's coming first, I think it's also like all eyes are on it. We're in that lead up. We have less than 2 months until it's out.
Yeah, beginning September.
Yeah. And so to me, it was the game of SGF, because almost a week after SGF, people are still talking about it. I know I've went back and watched just random segments of that 45-minute deep dive because I was like, oh, let me think about the ships. I was Googling like a child the other day, make your own spaceship game, because I just want to play around with a spaceship builder right now. And I want to think about the type of character I'm going to be and the type of ship I'm going to have. It's kind of like what I said about the gameplay. Spider-Man 2 is a known quantity, which is a good thing. We know what we're getting with it, and we know we're getting an evolution and a step up from that. But Starfield has been dominating the conversation. It's dominating my mind personally.
Fair enough. I mean, like everything you just said, in terms of like the conversation and what it needs to do, I absolutely agree with you. In terms of, hold on, did I get the data wrong? In terms of what it like, all these games, like with massive, right? A lot of people were like, is this open world game just going to be Destiny 2, or not Destiny, Division 2, but in Star Wars, right? And them coming out and like kind of putting that all to rest. And then Alan Wake 2, massive upgrade from the first one, right? So matter of just putting those doubts to rest and just showing that they can execute that. And then Spider-Man 2, I think for me, what made it game of the show was that not only did we do 11 minutes of uncut gameplay where everything we wanted to see was shown without it being explained and them holding our hands, and then having that follow up. I think SGF is like what really solidified that for me, in terms of just making that the game of the show that I think it is. I'm just double checking the count here, because
did we maybe have a live vote in?
We not a live vote in, but I'm wondering. I think the data's showing up wrong.
Oh no.
The plot thickens.
I think, yeah, I'm going through the individual responses, and hold on. So yeah, I got Jordan here putting down Starfield. I got Alec here putting down. Oh, Alec, my man, you're the Star Wars Outlaws.
Yep.
So you're jumping ship to
for the tiebreaker. I think
for the tiebreaker. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
For the tiebreaker.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. because when you're like Starfield, I was like, okay, so then Chris is our Star Wars.
Yeah,
Outlaws
no,
guy. Double check the data.
yep.
Okay,
No, I was
okay.
going for this. I knew I did Star Wars just because
It's Outlaws.
that gameplay thing, like that won me over. Like I was already,
Yeah.
being Star Wars, I was into it, but like ever since I saw Nick's, like I need a plushie of that.
Yeah,
And then like showing that how you can like
absolutely.
send them to like distract or like attack or like push the button, like that was so cool. And then just the whole transition of like the speeder bike to in the bar to the ship, and that transition
And
in space was so cool.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah. And then
like,
great, similar to Spider-Man, great follow-up too in terms of being like, here it is at the Xbox showcase. Just wait till
a
was
day.
it the day after?
Yep.
Yeah, wait a day for full gameplay. Which like, and especially seeing that like CGI trailer, I was like, oh my god, like, okay, so we like, how far out is this game? Like, this we're probably going to be waiting until 2025. Like, this can't be that soon around the corner. And then like they immediately like put down any uh any sort of suspicions about that game by just immediately following it up with gameplay. But
Definitely.
Yep.
yeah, I could yeah, then I think that takes the cake in terms of Starfield being our game of the show officially.
Officially, for sure.
Your shared screens. But I mean, all four of these
Oh yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
chef's
absolutely.
kiss, knocked it out the
Like
park.
I'm not one for horror games, but man, like if they're I'm on the pedal or like the tipping point for Alan Wake 2, just because I can see those Control vibes in there.
Absolutely, and that Remedy verse coming to head
Mm.
here. Like, my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, I need to
Can't wait
play
for all
through
these
that
games.
Control expansion.
Same here. Yeah, I saved it for the PS5 upgrade, so like, yeah, I'm gonna jump into Control again, and then the DLC, and my God, October, September,
Fall
2024
stack this
for all
year.
these games.
It really
Ooh,
is.
baby.
I don't know how we're gonna do it.
Oh yeah,
But we'll manage.
but yeah, that includes the awards section of this of the podcast here.
All right.
All great picks.
Fantastic. So officially, Starfield is Shared Screen's game of the show for Summer Games Fest 2023. Like we just said, fall is stacked. Now, how are we going to do it? You'll have to like and subscribe to find out, because we will do game reviews. We'll be doing Starfield. We'll be doing Spider-Man. We'll probably be doing MK1, Alan Wake 2. All the major games will be getting reviews. And on top of that, I'm not sure when this goes up, but Secret Invasion will be out soon, and we will be reviewing each episode each week here on Shared Screens, along with all the other fun stuff we do, like New Rollers, a Shared Screens project, as we learn about D&D and start our first campaign. Again, remember to check out our Shared Screen SmackDown live stream, and we will see you all next time. Bye.